The videos I've been making demand and more of an explanation. And there's a lot of videos that I want people to see. And I know I always say this, but I'm going to try hard not to make any videos for a while after this. Possibly ever again. Because we're getting toward the end now. That's why these explanations are even more vital than they were before. Okay, so I talked about how they try to target me, possible poisoning, you know, tried to, they either did a fucking superb, outstanding job of making me think that they tried to run me over or hit me with a car and hit my father, or they actually did, okay? And so you also got to realize that you can't give people the benefit of the doubt in this situation. You can't say, well, maybe they just want me to think that, because you don't know that. You know, these are people who have sunk to a very low level to do this in the first place, to force medicate people with deadly psychiatric drugs. Let's face it, they're deadly. People commit suicide on these drugs. People die from the side effects of these drugs. People die from the health related side effects of these drugs later in life. Let's face it. These people are sunk to a low level of misdiagnosing you on purpose, knowing damn well what they're doing, and giving you high doses of deadly psychiatric medication. Just Google the psychiatry kills or the deadly effects of psych meds. It's common knowledge. Nobody can deny it. So what is going on here, really? There's two major ways to look at this. One, it's a psychological phenomena. Two, it's a war/military phenomena. So you can look at it as psychological warfare. But which one is it more of? Does psychology consist of warfare all the time? Or is that just part of the application of psychology? Okay? So it's more of a military thing than it is a psychological thing, because it's psychology with a military application. Just like if somebody's shooting at you in a military uniform after they invade your country, it's more of a military attack than a domestic attack or than just an attack. It's more of a military event than a murderous event. You see what I'm saying? So the proper way to interpret this logically is as a military attack, as them declaring war on you. Because there's many forms of warfare. There's many ways to declare war. There's biological war. There's biochemical. There's, cold wars. There's invasions. There's bombing campaigns. There's wars of attrition. There's different ways to war with people. And they all involve psychology, but the end effect is to neutralize a problem, either to get them to surrender or to annihilate them or to neutralize the problem. That is the purpose of war. And this, my friends, is just that, no matter how you look at it. They want the person to surrender, to die, or to be neutralized, brain dead, etc. So, ask yourselves, if someone declares war on you, someone invades your country, if somebody tries to kill you consistently, if somebody tries to neutralize, kill, or get you to surrender consistently, what is the appropriate response? What are the appropriate countermeasures? What is the appropriate behavior and action once you've clearly identified this as the case, as I have? To go to war with them as well. They declare war on you by their actions, military aggression. Then you declare war on them. Okay, logically. Now, there's many different ways. Like I just finished saying not too long ago, there's many forms of warfare. Can you run a psych op on them? Well, they're running a psych op on me. I'm going to run one on them. I'm sure to a certain extent you can, but is it practical, efficient, effective, decisive, logical? No. As a targeted individual, they've tried to isolate you. They've turned your people against you, just like in Iraq, where they turn certain forces against the other people they're going to war with, and they use them as quote unquote their allies, their friendly forces on the ground. Okay? You have to understand things for what they are, you know? But most people make the mistake in foreign countries is they fight the friendly forces and they fight the ground forces of America, and it's pretty much a hopeless battle that will continue forever until America either leaves or they win. Okay? And it's not an effective, decisive way to deal with the problem, because you can't win. You can only either lose or they leave you alone, but you can never conquer them. You can never get back at the bastards who declared war on you and have tried to kill you in the first place, and you've lost your friends and your family and all this, you know, going to war with the forces that you can, quote unquote, can go to war with, that you perceive that you can go to war with. The appropriate way is to hit the problem at its source. You know, for all gang-stalked people, all targeted individuals, you identify the source of this military aggression and you strike them at the source. Period. Okay, how could I possibly be wrong about this? There is no counter debate. You know, there is no other way to look at it. They have identified you as somebody with a propensity, a certain ability, a certain capability to change things and to pose a threat to them, and they've decided to either kill you, neutralize you, or force you to surrender. Okay? And to force you to surrender is pretty much surrendering to psychiatric treatment and doing everything every way that they want you to. At that point, they'll back off a bit. Okay, logically. Why? Because if you take the medication and they're trying to play the angle that, oh, you know, you have a mental disorder or something, you know, they're obviously going to reduce what they're doing because they're trying to show that you're improving. Okay, almost certainly that they're going to reduce, you know, they're going to stop doing what they're doing under the pretense that you're improving, and now that you're falling in line and you're paying tribute, you're paying tons of money for quote unquote mental health, which is part of their major cash cows, they say, well, we can focus, it makes sense to focus our resources on someone else. People don't understand how deep this goes, you know. Basically, the gang stalker is in a position, either he's going to give up everything he believes in and go out like a complete coward, a complete pussy, someone I will never ever respect, and go along with the system that has done this to him, that has tried to kill him already, try to kill, neutralize, or get him to surrender already. Someone that's declared war on you, you know, and you go out like a complete pussy and you surrender. Say, oh, I can't put up with this harassment. I can't put up with this threat. I can't put up with this danger, like a complete coward. Or you convert to Islam and man the fuck up. Because as soon as you convert to Islam, now you have people on your side. That's what most people don't understand about this. If you're a gang member, your own gang is going to betray you because they work with the New World Order, as the video I uploaded before this one will clearly show you. There is no turning to your family. There is no turning to your gang. There is no turning to your close friends. All these people are unreliable. All these people are compromised at best. Okay? When you're a targeted individual, the only feasible way to deal with the problem without being a complete coward, selling your soul to Satan and his Babylonian system, so to speak, is to become a jihadist and strike the problem at its source. Allah will reward you. Period. Okay, I've seen complete bootlickers say, oh, they prayed on the Bible and this problem went away. I prayed on the Bible with 1,000 times the conviction that they have. Did the problem go away? No. Because they don't care if you pray on the Bible. They want you to fall in line with the system. They want you to be neutralized, killed, or surrendered. Think about it. Logical. This is a military industrial complex. It's a military psyop. These are military energy weapons. This is a military operation. The people behind the military, the secret societies behind the military, behind the government, behind the police forces and their code of silence, behind mental health who control the pharmaceutical industry and the mental health oligarchs, okay, are declaring war on you. And there is only one group, only one movement that poses a threat to them, that is thoroughly stigmatized, that you can 100% guarantee that once you identify with them, that people will pick up your cause after you're gone. I'm not saying go out and find somebody who's probably a informant or an undercover, but rather strike them on your own. Thank you.